You know how some dreams fade the moment you open your eyes, while others cling, strange, emotional, and impossible to name? What if dreams were emotional sketches, rough drafts of how you'll feel tomorrow? They can even be rehearsal spaces for your emotions, private stages where meaning takes shape. What if instead of translating fragments, we just let AI help us turn it into art? In today's episode, we'll explore how to use AI as your dream decoder for creativity. Hi, I'm Frankie, and welcome back to Promptwell AI Joy Cozy Lab. We run small experiments in joy, powered by AI. In the Cozy Lab, learning happens one quiet moment at a time. Before we start, let's take a slow breath in and out. We'll relax our jaws, drop our shoulders, and settle in. Now let's begin. For tonight's demonstration, I'll be using a fresh chat with no memory. So it's exactly what you'd see if you open ChatGPT for the first time. Let's take one simple dream image and hand it to AI in two different ways. First, let's do a modern fable about a hallway. To keep it consistent and easy to read, I will ask AI to write the first two opening paragraphs and the final paragraph of a modern fable. Keep the tone timeless, calm, and wise, as if the story had been told for generations. Use simple imagery and natural metaphors. Give the hallway a symbolic purpose. Maybe it represents patience, courage, or self-discovery. End with a gentle moral or a moment of understanding, but avoid sounding preachy. And let's see what our AI friend here has to say. Ooh, I like this already. In a quiet house that has stood longer than anyone could remember, there was a hallway that never hurried. Its wooden floor creaked softly beneath each step, and its walls held the faint scent of rain and time. Children once thought it endless, stretching farther with every glance, while the old believed it grew shorter as they learned where to look. The hallway was neither kind nor cruel. It simply waited, as hallways do, for those who choose to walk it. Those who entered often did so in silence. Some came seeking a door they had lost, others only to escape the noise behind them. The light there was strange, dim at first, then warmer the longer one stayed. People said it was the kind of place that tested not your speed, but your steadiness, where you discovered that every echo of your footstep belonged to you alone. And so, when at last each traveler reached the far end, they found no grand door waiting, only their own reflection in the polished grain of the final wall. It was then they understood. The hallway had not been a passage to somewhere else, but a patient space that taught them how to walk without rushing. I have to say, I'm very surprised with the emotional tone of this prompt. And one thing I do want to point out is before I record these, I actually do work on the prompts and try them on a fresh chat. And every single time it's come up with something different. And every single time it has come up with something so engaging. So that's something that I also encourage you to try. If you don't like what it gives you the first time, try it again. This next genre is one that I thought that fit the the cozy lap very well. Now, we're going to be doing the hallway, but with Gothic romance. So I've asked AI to infuse the story with atmosphere, candlelight, echoes, shadows, and yearning. Let the hallway reflect memory, obsession, or desire. Write with emotional intensity, but a slow, deliberate rhythm, like someone speaking softly in confession. End with a feeling that lingers more than it resolves. Let's see what we get. The hallway still remembered him. Even now, when the last of the candles burned low and the air trembled with the faint musk of extinguished flame, I could hear his footsteps in the hush between my own. Each creak of the wooden floorboards sounded like breath drawn through regret, like a voice that spoke my name. The portraits watched, their varnished eyes reflecting the wavering light, their silence heavy with the knowing. I moved slowly, afraid that haste would disturb the fragile balance between what was gone and what refused to leave. He had walked this corridor each night before the storm, the one that took him. Or perhaps took only his shape and left the rest behind. Sometimes I think the shadows lengthen differently where he once turned the corner, as if the house bends itself towards the memory of his hand brushing the wall. I tell myself it is only candlelight shifting, yet the air grows tender when the dark gathers, and something in me glistens too closely. Desire, once kindled, never dies quietly. It smolders beneath propriety, feeding on silence and half-remembered touch. Now, as dawn bleeds through the cracked panes, the hallway stands still, no footsteps. Now, as the dawn bleeds through the cracked panes, the hallway stands still. No footsteps, no breath, no promise. The candles have melted into small, perfect ghosts of themselves. I leave the door open behind me, though I know he will not follow. Still, when the wind moves through the house, it hums low along the walls, and I almost believe it is his voice, patient, unfinished, waiting for me to turn back. Oh, that really captured that Gothic romance. This seems like the epilogue to a larger story that would keep me up until 3 a.m. As we've seen tonight, same dream, same hallway, but two very different moods. One story grounded in reflection, the other drifting through candlelight and metaphor. Neither are wrong. They just speak the same feeling in different languages. That's the beauty of AI used gently. It doesn't overwrite imagination. It helps to give form to what was already whispering underneath. Would you like to try this for yourself? Here's what you'll need. First, pick one strong image. Pick the dream detail that lingers. A hallway, a storm, a stranger you almost recognized. That's your anchor. Second, one writing style. Choose a genre or tone. Memoir, Gothic romance, urban fantasy, fable. Each one shifts how the dream speaks. Third, one creative tweak. Add familiar details from that genre, such as candlelight, city sounds, metaphors that breathe. You can even ask AI, what are the signature details of this genre, and build your prompt together. So next time you wake from something strange or beautiful, instead of asking, what does it mean? Maybe ask, what is it becoming? So here's the quiet part out loud. Dreams don't always need to be understood. Sometimes they just want to take shape. Maybe that's all creation ever is, remembering in a different form. Well, that's it for tonight's episode. Thank you for spending this quiet moment in the cozy lab. If you try this later, share a small piece of what you create, even a single sentence that stayed with you. That's how we turn quiet moments into shared ones. Check back next week for another gentle experiment in joy. See you next time. Same vibe, new spark. Bye.